Howdy and hello, everyone. Welcome back into T1A. We've got some free agent reactions going on for you. I think this is going to be pretty fun. Let's get to it.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back into T1A. Remember, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you're getting all the notifications for everything we're putting out. We got new shows coming out, Tank Teaches, Glasses Mike, and our weekly edition here. So make sure you're getting in there and seeing all that shit. Free agency has started. Like, we're in it. It actually started on Monday because the legal tampering shit. I don't know why they don't just move it to Monday. Like,
just open
fucking
it up.
Move it to Monday. Fucking come on, yeah.
Monday,
so,
6 a.m. Eastern. Let the game.
Ironically, we're going to start talking about a guy who was signed and taken care of before free agency even got started.
Got himself free agent at the end of the year.
Yeah. If you watched Glasses Mike, you heard what I said about this. Raiders fucking screwed this up bad. I mean, how do you not get something back
Some
for
sort of
Derek Carr? Something. Like, he's a legitimate mid quarterback in the NFL, right? If not a little bit better than that. I know a lot of people have been comparing stats like Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton, what they did last year versus Derek Carr. And it's like, come on, stop. Yeah. One of those guys were playing in a different system. Sure, we can compare stats, but like, it's what the system the guy is in, what they're asking them to do. And last year, the Raiders asked Derek Carr to do more than he was capable of doing, threw the ball more than they needed to. And that just led to him being in bad situations with a shit defense around him. So,
yep.
I'm not going to say Derek Carr
is a declining asset. Like, there's no way that he repeats again this year what he did last year. Like, his efficiency's going down, his arm strength's down. Like,
that was all
the guys that they still have in the Saints now, Olave, Shaheed, like, those guys can get deep. You got to be able to throw to them.
Yeah, I can't believe you're gonna go to Shaheed. You're gonna skip right over Michael Thomas.
Yeah, I'm so over Mike. I'm so over him.
Just re-signed up again. He's recruiting OBJ and shit like that. Like, I think he's actually out to prove something. I think them going out and getting
Robo ankles. He's had surgery on those things so many times.
Them going out and getting Derek Carr, though, like, shows confidence and like, hey, we got a capable quarterback for you. Go out there and get it done now. And he's, fully removed from all that bullshit with the ankle. You got to think, at least you'd hope. And even a shell of MT is going to be a wide receiver too in fantasy. Even a shell, especially with Derek Carr.
Let's hope.
Yeah,
I won't have
shit out of Devontae.
I'll watch him on other people's teams. I won't have any shares of him.
So, out with Derek Carr in Las Vegas in grand fashion, and in steps
the Jimmy G.
Yes, just a little rundown on Jimmy G.
Nobody was surprised by this move. The only thing that we're surprised is Tom Brady didn't go there.
Yeah, that would have actually surprised, really surprised the shit out of me.
But they did bring another Patriot in. They brought in Jacoby Myers as well.
Yep.
So I think there was two solid pickups. I think that, it rounds out a good team for them without investing so super heavily into either position. I mean, they've got to still pay Renfro. They still got to pay Adams. Like, I think, $24 million between the two?
I still think Renfro... I mean, I'm just like, to put premier options in front of Jimmy G is what they're going to need to do. And Jacoby Myers has never played alongside a premier wide receiver like Devontae Adams. I think him playing as a 2, Renfro in the slot, that I think that pairing is what allows them to say, like, okay, we're okay with that Waller, because Renfro is going to be able to do what Waller did.
Well, and they have no tight ends. That's the other part that I don't understand. Waller for a third?
That's a good tight end class. They could get a Waller replacement in the third.
Yeah.
And we all know, like, they're not going to get Waller production, right? Even if they drafted a tight end again in the second, they're not going to get Waller production out of that guy for 2 or 3 years.
Full on prediction, Darnell Washington.
Fucking that, in true Raider fashion, it would happen.
Yeah. Oh, he's the fastest one? Give me.
Yeah, that'd be a good one.
Can he throw the ball 60 yards from his knees?
Through the goalpost. He's badass. God damn it. Anyway.
Oh, wait, that's your tight end?
I think they surrounded Jimmy G here with really good weapons. Josh Jacobs is back on the tag. They need to work on that offensive line and that defense, and that's kind of my prediction for how the rest of their offseason is going to go. I don't see them making big splashes in free agency. I see them taking advantage of the draft. I know they lost some draft picks with Devontae Adams, but this draft class and next year's draft class coming out are very deep in talent. maybe not fantasy relevant talent, but
Yeah.
defensive talent, offensive line talent. There's a lot of talent coming out over the next 2 years.
And
And
you
I
were
believe
talking
that
about that
is
a
the
little
next
bit
step.
before we started recording about it being so deep in defense, and that's kind of
Yeah.
making sense now. They're really hitting hard in the free agent, veterans, and go
hmm
young in their defense and really try to build it.
Yeah. And we have seen a lot of offensive player movement that honestly has been a little bit surprising, but I mean, I guess not really that surprising. I mean, consider what we went through last offseason with like Tyreek getting moved and Devontae getting moved. Like
Those are
those
some
are
big pieces, yeah.
pretty big
Those
pieces.
well, and we, what was it, a year or two before that we had Diggs move, and
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
was kind of the big one out of that one. But
I think what actually that leads us right into the next guy we're going to want to talk about is a big piece to the big move that the Carolina Panthers made and
yeah,
sending DJ Moore to the Bears and getting the first overall pick back.
I think the
I
Panthers
I
got fleeced in this.
I think the Panthers got fleeced in it too, but I'm still like I had more hope, and I'm going to get Ed up on this, and somebody can prove me wrong, but I had more hope for DJ Moore staying in Carolina than
With
I
a
do
new
for him
quarterback, yeah.
going to Chicago. And that's not like a dig on Fields. Like I didn't think they were going
Mm,
to bring in a rookie that's better than Fields. I just thought Moore was like the top dog there. Like he is the man.
yeah,
And now you're putting him in Chicago where it's like Justin Fields is the man. And he
yeah.
hasn't really proven to be able to hit wide receivers even if they're wide open. And
Well,
DJ Moore
yeah,
is good.
that's where he is because he's running. He's not looking at the field. He's looking to run.
Yeah, and you hope. I mean, if he adapts better and progresses beyond that and is able to see the field better, then DJ Moore could probably do better. But I think you're going to get the same return,
Yeah,
and you've actually got it written right here.
yeah.
Another wide receiver
Expectations.
2 year, which
Another wide
yeah,
receiver 2 year.
yeah, and we're bringing this up just as like it's more of
Don't
a factor of what we're
curb your
evaluating these guys at.
expectations.
Yeah, curb your expectations for a lot of these guys. Like I don't think Derek Carr's going to have an MVP season for the Saints,
I
and I
mean,
don't
who
think
would you
Jimmy
rather have
G.
as a red zone target, Cole Kmet or DJ Moore?
Oh, DJ
DJ
Moore
Moore is
can't catch
probably
touchdown.
DJ Moore is probably going to have the top corner on them.
DJ Moore, well, he'd never catches touchdowns.
I know.
Justin Fields running it in from
So,
5 out all day.
well, that's the problem that you have with the Bears is DJ Moore is not going to reach that wide receiver 1 level without scoring touchdowns. So his
hmm
problem with going to the Bears is his value isn't going to increase for fantasy
Yeah,
players.
it's not like it's a really good offense. It's a very struggling shit offense, and it just lost another piece to a division rival
Yeah,
in David Montgomery going to the Lions, which I think is huge.
I think
I
it's
do. I think it's huge.
fantastic.
Yeah, I think it's big.
I feel bad for Swift.
I feel bad for any Swift owner.
Yeah, that
Yeah, that's
value
a
would
rough
definitely
spot to
went
be in.
down. Yeah,
Yeah, that's a
because
rough
what
spot
what
to be
can
in.
David do except for break off huge runs?
Yeah, he's behind a better offensive line now in Detroit, a better offense with better weapons around him, and
And a
they
good defense.
clearly, yeah, and clearly Dan Campbell has shown like he will feed a back who is showing that he is being productive, and you could see that when he gave DeAndre Swift, who was being productive in a game and got 30 plus carries.
Yeah.
So here's a situation where yeah, you could get a really productive back. I think David Montgomery right now, younger, fresher legs. I think he's a better Jamal Williams. He's an
Yeah.
upgrade, and they just kept the same type of player and just got a better player. Is all.
Yeah,
When
he
they
can
made
play
this
with
move here.
power. He's got some finesse to wiggle.
Yeah,
Like he can be good on the goal line, third down. He can still catch. I think really it's Swift's job to lose,
Mhm.
but by training camp, I wouldn't be surprised if it's a 1A, 1B two-headed monster coming out of that backfield.
yeah, and if Montgomery, well, we always say this, right? If he plays a full year, well, every running back in the NFL that actually plays 16 games or 17 games now and stays healthy and it has a decent share of volume in his
They're a top
offense is
5.
going to end up. Yeah, they're going to be. Yeah, you're an RB1, right? Like you're the guy. You're going to be an RB1. So and he's
That's
had
because you
injury
played.
history. Yeah, he's had injury history, but if you just follow his career arc, I think this move to the Lions solidified David Montgomery as an RB2,
Yeah.
and with RB1 upside. So in this
Well, and then
situation,
it brought you value to Herbert. So if you had, the running back in his handcuff, now you have 2 pieces that are valuable. And I might start looking to move that Herbert piece.
yeah, I would move that Herbert piece really quick. I don't think they hand the
It's a
full
short
backfield to
window.
him.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I don't think he gets the whole backfield.
They're not staying with what they have with Ebner and now bringing in Travis Homer. I just don't think it's
Yeah,
going to be that's it. Like, lock it in.
unless it's like an offensive change and they're thinking of like utilizing Justin Fields in a more spread offense and getting like faster running backs in. But that's
Smaller,
a lot of
faster running backs. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a lot speculation. But
I
I
guess
mean,
A
that's
Chain
a
would
rather
fit
good
in
go.
there.
Shut up. I don't. No.
All right. So
Yeah,
let's
let's
move
move
on to our
on.
next guy here. We've got the Giants. We kind of brought this up a little bit earlier, but we'll talk about this side now. The Giants sending over a third and bringing in Darren Waller and crushing any hope of Daniel Bellinger being fantasy relevant this year.
Yeah, but probably just for this year. I feel like Waller is a 1, maybe 2 year rental guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's old and like he might not do shit. Like he
Yeah.
really might not. But let's assume he stays healthy. And
Well, you
let's
have
just
to assume that if you forecast for injury, then you'll never get any players.
yeah, you got to understand your risk reward on it too.
Yep.
Of course. But Darren Waller, on paper, I think this is a great fit. Daniel Jones needs another weapon.
He
Darren
needs a
Waller is a
solid
great,
target that
yeah,
can
and
read open areas on the field.
Yeah, and Waller is a big target. He works well underneath. He's going to move linebackers, and it just creates um, another realm to this offense, right? Because they're very one dimensional with no wide receiver help.
What
Saquon Barkley and Daniel Jones was it.
I think that's where I was just going to bring up is the dynamic impact becomes for Saquon because Waller can
Yeah,
get out there and block for him. For Danny Dimes, it becomes a nice solid target, kind of like what you're just saying there. Because who's their wide receivers? They really haven't done much to fix or work on that as much as it took to get Danny to stay and for Saquon to stay.
well, they shut the bed with the Kenny Galladay thing. Like
Yeah, absolutely.
smart move to get rid of him.
Well, the smart route move to get rid of Gettleman finally.
Yeah, I'm a little surprised they haven't been in the wide receiver market in free agency.
Exactly.
Which kind of points me to the direction that they're probably going to aim towards drafting the guys that they want, right? And this is a good draft to do that. But again, that takes more time, and I don't know if you have all that kind of time. You only got Daniel Jones on a 4-year, and Saquon's on another 1-year contract. So, it'd be interesting to see what they go out and do.
There's a world where OBJ re-signs with the Giants, but I think it's pretty far-fetched because he probably wants a ring.
True. But there was talk of him going to Buffalo, and granted, that's Josh Allen's there and Stephon Diggs is there, but Dable was there too, and of course, he probably got to meet him or talk with him, of course, and there might be some chemistry there. I don't fucking know. I honestly don't want to see it.
There's so much behind-the-scenes stuff you just don't know about.
Yeah, I don't want to see it because it's just a circus, and that's all it's going to be. But I do hope if OBJ does play, I do hope he comes out and does really well.
Yeah.
I just don't want to. I hate all the extra shit.
Yeah. You just worry that again it's going to be an injury, so buying into OBJ is not very high on a priority list right now. Speaking of not high on a priority list, what about Juju?
Huh? I was going to say this is the biggest write-up you got, and it's on the Patriots.
It was what's funny about it is it's not even about Juju. It's like, Juju, okay, yeah, whatever. But they signed a guard, 2 tackles, and I was happy about that for Ramondre and Pierre Strong. So
yeah, I mean the run game's always going to be strong. Run game's going to be strong in New England. I mean that's what they base everything on. I actually sneaky like Juju landing in New England.
I think it's good for him.
They've been known to be a slot-based offense, and so you just go get a guy who runs. He's a premier slot guy, and that's where you put him, and you kind of focus it around him. And could I see 120 catch season out of Juju in New England? Sure.
Yep.
Do I trust Mac Jones and Juju to pull that off? No, not really. I think this is going to be. I would not be surprised to see the Patriots.
Bailey Zappi and Juju.
Shit. I wouldn't be surprised to see New England draft another running back. I mean, shit, they did it last year. They drafted like fucking 4 running backs, something like that. Yeah. So they'll probably pick and choose out of the running back core.
They've got some great guys already on there. I mean, you said they picked up James Robinson. They've got Ramondre. They've got Pierre Strong, Kevin Harris.
Yeah, and I don't think they're done in the wide receiver market. Like they're probably going to add a couple more pieces to it, and they still have guys on. I mean, Devontae Parker and shit like that, but. And we know a guy who brought up that Tyquan Thornton is the new number 1 wide receiver in New England. And just to quell that shit, if you're thinking that, stop. because he's not a
No,
number one wide receiver.
I still like picking him up for late thirds, whatever people are willing to give in that later third range, just because he has potential. He's going to be a player that needs another 2-3 years to develop, and I can see him being a good complement to work with Juju, as a good tandem. Taekwon on the outside, Devontae Parker on the outside, and then you got Juju playing the slot. So
That doesn't even sound good.
no, it's not, and that's what makes it more tempting for Juju. I mean, those guys aren't going to be able to do anything against top corners,
I
and
mean,
so
we'll
it'll
see.
be underneath for Juju all day long. They're going to be
We'll
like
see.
5 yard receptions.
Well, I mean, yeah, that's his fucking MO is like
It's
a
going to be
6.9.
PPR machine and no yardage.
I mean, you hope. I mean, he just came off of the best
What
offense in
was
the
Jacoby
NFL.
Myers doing? The exact same thing. 8 to 10 targets a game, 6 catches, 60 yards at the best.
I'd rather have Jacoby Myers over Juju.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, especially
Maybe not
now.
now. Maybe not now.
Oh, really?
Maybe not
Oh,
now.
now I
Yeah,
would.
no, not now. No, I don't want. I like Jacoby Myers, but if I have him somewhere, I'm willing to trade him, and I'm not going to go look to get him.
Yeah.
I just don't think. I think that's going to be a completely different offense than what people saw last year. They want to win games in Vegas, and I don't think they're gonna. I don't think they're gonna go in and just tank it out. Just be like, Jimmy, don't win. So yeah, pass.
All right. Let's move on to something other than Baker Mayfield and the Bucks.
Nah, we got to talk about this because it's huge. There's so many implications with Baker going to Tampa Bay
I
with
like
Chris
that much
Godwin and
better
Mark
for
Evans.
Godwin and Edwin Evans and
I don't.
Otten.
I don't.
Better
I
than
mean, I don't.
Trask.
I don't like it. I don't. I mean, they weren't
I
going to roll
hate
in with
him.
Trask.
Like,
They
yeah.
weren't going to roll in with Trask.
No,
This
but you knew they
sucks.
were bringing in a vet.
Yeah, but bring in
We knew a
Jacoby
while
Brissett.
ago that was Baker Mayfield. They should have totally brought in Brissett.
Jacoby Brissett. Why is Jacoby Brissett not in Tampa Bay? And
Why
why
is
is
Heineke not in Tampa Bay?
ew? Come on, guys, it's fucking Baker
Better than
Light.
Baker.
It's Baker Light,
Yeah,
right?
I
That's like,
know.
yeah, I'm getting full on the Budweiser, bartender. Give me a Bud Light. Fuck that. Jacoby Brissett should have landed here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Baker, it reminds me of Jameis Winston when he was there, in his last year, and he just lit up the fantasy world. He was a shitty real life quarterback, but he lit it up in fantasy.
Yeah.
He could do it, I guess. There's so much around him that it's hard to think that he couldn't do it.
Well, he's okay. Yeah.
But it's Baker. It's Baker. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's tough. I don't
All
know.
right.
I don't.
Let's move on to
Yeah.
something. Let's move on to another quarterback. Let's talk about Aaron Rodgers potentially going to the Jets. Brought over Alan Lazard. Wasn't on his actual wish list. He never had an actual list. But hey, if you're gonna bring my guys over, I want this guy.
I didn't watch this fucking show because I just can't
I was
anymore with Aaron.
doing some housework and listening to it, and wow.
I couldn't. I saw the tweets come out of people throwing out shit he said, and I mean, whatever. Let's just fuck all that extra bullshit. He said he's going to the Jets, right?
Yeah.
So he's going to end up in New York.
The plan is to play for the Jets this year.
Yeah. So Lazard's there.
Yep.
Garrett Wilson's there.
Yep.
Elijah Moore's there.
Mm-hmm. Conklin.
Brees Hall. Brees Hall take a little while to come back, but
Michael
he's there.
Carter.
Michael Carter's there. That's a good offense. They got a decent offensive line. I think it's a little bit of an overrated offensive line just because of the draft capital that's been put in it, but it hasn't really held up. But I mean, Aaron hasn't been playing behind the best offensive lines.
For the capital put into it, it's okay. It's a good line. Yeah.
Defense is decent. I think fantasy wise, Aaron Rodgers going to the Jets is actually an upgrade from being in Green Bay.
Yeah.
But you still got to see it, right? Because LaFleur was running the offense in Green Bay, and now they got this.
We all thought it was Hackett. He went to Denver and showed us what he had.
Yeah, and so it'll be interesting to see how well Aaron does there. I still think he's going to do fine. I think the whole saga of everything that's taking place and how demanding he's been has been a bit much.
Yeah.
He's like, here's a good way to put it. Just crossed my mind. He wants Tom Brady treatment, but don't have Tom Brady's rings. Yep. So you don't get to pick because you don't go out there and just win with anybody. So fuck you.
Well, and on my notes here, I think the Jets landed a big fish. That's what they needed. That's what they wanted to do to make a run. It's been pretty clear since the beginning of the offseason. I think they can make one run with Aaron Rodgers because he's got something out to prove. He's proved that he's good, and that the
Okay.
Packers shouldn't have moved on. I mean, I think that chip on his shoulder is when he has a good season.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how long that chip is there when he's in the playoffs and he has to beat Buffalo and KC and Cincinnati
Yeah.
and I don't know, Baltimore maybe. Like they always come out with a damn good team. So like you just anyway, I just
Well, he's got to play Miami, who's just bolstered their defense.
yeah.
He's got to play the Patriots twice. He's got to play Buffalo twice. Did you look at the other conference before you went there? Because you're going to be on your back a lot more.
Yeah, I don't know. It was probably the only fucking place they'd let him go,
I can't wait for
right?
more like helmet all over his face memes. Like,
What if, dude? What if Green Bay just like had this planned and like when he went into the darkness and then came out, they were like, "We're the Jets. That's it. We'll send you to the Jets." He's like, "Why just the Jets?" And he's like, "Just to fucking make fun of you in
yeah,
the old fashion of what Brett Favre did and just fucking career arc you, bud. There you go."
yep. Go to
I
Jets
would
to
like to
Bears.
talk. I would like to talk about next guy we got on here is Robert Woods.
Sure.
I love me some Bobby Trees. I
Oh,
don't think he's
Bobby
gonna be
Trees.
found. I don't think he'll be fantasy relevant.
I don't think
I don't
he's
give a
going to do
shit.
anything.
Yeah, he could be cut.
My
He could
note
be
on
cut.
here is locker room presence.
Yeah, and that might be
I
it.
think it's because he's going to come in and try to help these couple younger wide receivers they have in Mechie, Nico. See if they can patch things over with Brandon Cooks. He's probably gone, but they're going to
I
draft
don't
it.
think they.
They're going to
I don't
have to
think they can get rid
draft
of him.
another wide receiver.
Yeah, I don't think they can get rid of Cooks. The contract's too crazy. That's why they can't trade him because they'd have to
Yeah.
eat so much. So it's better just have him, I guess.
Well, we'll see as we get closer to the draft. Things
Yeah, I
things
would.
change.
If I was betting on it, I would bet that Robert Woods is like a preseason cut. You know, when they have to cut down to 53, he ends up not even on the team.
Yeah.
They're just too young, and it's not like they're competing. And Woods is there, like you're saying, locker room guy.
Yep.
You can talk about this next guy because I didn't even fucking know he went there.
I didn't either. I stumbled across this. So Samaje Perine going to the Broncos. I love this. It's a good enough vet to carry over until Javante's ready, and he could still come in third down, short goal line stuff. He can carry the load every now and again, but this also helps solidify that Javante is going to be the back.
The back. I
Yeah,
still don't know if he's going to be the back, and I still think
yeah,
they add to this backfield because it still really is just Javante and P Ryan right
yeah.
now. I did read this earlier, and so I've had a little bit of time to think about it. You are right; he's a great filling back. He's like in comparison, Javante to JK. A lot of people are making that comparison and how JK's rehab went, and when he got back on the field, and he even went on IR in the middle of the season. You could see that out of Javante this year.
Yeah.
Which is why I don't think they're all the way done. But P Ryan he's going to be a solid guy back there. So if Javante can't go, they bring in another rookie or another vet like they did last year,
I think they bring in
and
a
they can rotate.
rookie and kind
Yeah,
of
they could.
fill this out.
Yeah.
Samaje is going
Well,
to be that back that's going to help patch things over for now.
yeah, that's what we thought was going to happen last year, and they just went back and got Gordon.
Yeah.
So
Well, they
it
also
could come
look at
down
when
to
they grabbed Gordon is like, I got this
yeah.
pocket lint or Gordon. What do you want to do?
Well, you got to keep in mind too, rookie running backs. What's one of the things they're always shitty at, and that's pass protection. And now you've
Absolutely.
got Russell Wilson back there, so you can't really just be like, we're just going to draft a rookie,
Well,
unless
and you
that
have
matches up and you get a good pass
Sean
protection
Payton,
rookie.
who's like, we need a running back that can block.
Yeah, so
And
I
in
think
Sean
Pirine.
Payton's office, I think it's good for what Samaje can do.
Yeah, he's not going to be the premier guy. You know,
No.
this will be another committee. I think they're still, like I said, I still think they're going to bring in another guy.
Yeah, I can see
There's
that.
just too many running backs in the draft for them not to. But I don't, you know what I mean? Again, this is another situation where personally I think they bring in a vet, another P Ryan type of guy to fill the gap. Or they could go a rookie. Fuck, I don't know.
Yeah. Let's move on to our next guy who's also kind of in that class of, well, fuck, I don't know. Rashad Penny going to the Eagles.
I sparked some debate earlier on this, and all I asked, and I'm going to try to word this better. All I'm going to ask is, where last year did you have Miles Sanders ranked at in your rankings?
Yeah, running back too.
Knowing that he's injury prone,
Yep.
knowing that he's going to share the backfield.
Yeah.
You knew all of this, right? You have a history on him. Now, Penny's history isn't on complete par. It's a little worse, right? It's way
Yep.
worse injury history, but he's actually flashed more than Miles Sanders ever had. And he's going to another team with a good offensive line, brought back Jason Kelsey, so that center position's locked up for another
They'll
year.
have Lane Johnson.
Yeah, as long as he stays
Goddard's healthy.
healthy, as
Yep.
long as Penny stays healthy, he's a fucking RB1. Every week he has the danger
Yeah.
to be an RB1 for you.
I'd
It's just
say
when's he going to stay healthy?
the 10 to 12 range, a late RB1, but he has the potential to. There's no way that Hurts is going to be allowed to just keep running those short goal lines
Fuck, it
all the
works
time.
until they make a rule. I bet they keep doing that shit.
Right. Well,
He
and
doesn't
then
take a beating.
there's also the talk about adjusting that one play where they have somebody come up and push behind him. The
Well,
big
that's all they
scrum
did. Yeah,
play. Yeah.
yeah, that's what they did.
But yeah, it's going to end up two brain scramblies.
Yeah. If I'm a Penny owner right now, I'm happy about the situation because I can
Oh,
sit on it
yeah.
and hopefully take advantage of it.
By the
If
time
I have
draft
people
comes,
asking,
where draft
yeah,
capital falls, I think you can get probably a late first by the time draft rolls around.
ooh, that seems fucking broad to me. I was gonna say like a mid, early-ish second, depending on the interest you're getting from somebody, but
Well, and
that's
it's
under the
stuff that we
idea that you're
talked about.
gonna,
Is the wide receiver is going to look more secure. Penny's going to be a guy that's going to be
yeah,
his
right. Where
hype is
all
going to
the,
keep climbing.
I don't think it will.
I think so.
I think it's been enough injuries, enough bitten seasons. Look what it did to Joe Mixon, and he was actually still producing. He was still an RB2 and an RB1 in his
His
years where he was getting hurt.
competition is Gainwell and Boston Scott.
Right now it is. And you have to take into
Oh,
consideration his
and
injury history.
they still have your guy Kennedy Brooks on the special reserves futures contract.
Yeah, nobody's going to give you a late first for this guy. And the way you and I have even talked about where we feel running backs are going to fall in this draft because of the draft capital they're going to get and where they're going to end up in your rookie drafts, they're going to put you in that second round. So if you get somebody who's going to give you a mid-second round pick or an early-ish second round pick, you're basically trading Rashad Penny for whatever running back you think is going to end up in that area. And there's a lot of good running backs with better history, less injuries. So it's an option. Am I doing it? Probably fucking not. Right? I want to ride this. The guy's done it before. He's still young
This
enough.
could
He's
be
still
a
got one more
slam dunk
season.
for 1 year. Yeah.
Exactly. And I only have one share of him. So I'm holding on to that motherfucker. But
Yeah.
if you have multiple shares somehow ended up with Penny, I wouldn't be getting rid of him. If you can go get him for a late second, early third, I'd go get that. It's worth the risk to me. Like all you got to do is wait for him to pop off for a couple of games.
Early third. Yeah. If you could do that, I'll take it.
You're probably
Anybody
not going
listening
to,
out there
but
that's in
yeah,
our fantasy leagues, if you want to send them over for an early third, let me know.
do not send me a fucking early third. I told you I'm holding on to his ass.
All
Here's
right,
this one was
go
kind of
for
a
it.
shocker to me. This one was kind of a shocker to me, honestly. I mean, I knew they were probably going to do something with the quarterback position, but I really thought, why are you investing in Desmond Ridder, Atlanta, if you don't believe that he actually has the potential to be a starter for you in his second year? So instead, you go out and get Taylor Heineke. I mean, fucking come on, man. Okay, so, and we talked about this before the recording. The weapons are around him now. So McLaurin, Drake London. Pretty even-ish comparison, right?
Yeah.
Curtis Samuel and Jahan Dotson, Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
Right? So it's kind of like the same weapon drawer that he has there. Doesn't have a dynamic running back with him, unless you think Tyler Algier is dynamic.
Nope.
Doesn't have a good defense around him. Doesn't have a good O-line.
Nope.
So Heineke is moving from a bad situation to a shittier situation. And I have no interest. I would much rather have seen what Desmond Ridder could have done. I think fantasy-wise, he would have been much more relevant. And Heineke is going to be overpriced, and I will be staying away from him in every league.
I really wish in high school somebody would have told me how much backup quarterbacks get paid.
Yeah, buddy.
I would have switched positions a long time ago.
You'd have been a fucking meaty quarterback, Jared Lorenzen.
Yeah, I could throw the ball, though. I got touch.
Shit.
All right.
Continue on.
I like this for Atlanta because it gives you a solid-ish backup for Ridder if the door falls out, or you're getting through training camp and Ridder just doesn't have it. You have somebody that's gonna bridge it for now.
Yeah,
and then they'll go early in the draft and get a quarterback.
Well, and they're in prime-ish quarterback picking position. I mean, they're still God, what you got to think? Carolina's going to take a quarterback. Houston's probably going to take a quarterback. Indy takes a quarterback. That's 3 quarterbacks. Vegas. I don't think Vegas takes a quarterback this year. I don't
Oh,
think
they
they're going to
could.
get. I don't think they think they're going to get one of the top 3 guys, and so
I
I
don't
don't
think
think
they
they're going to
go. I
draft
don't think they
Levis.
go Anthony Richardson. I think they would go Levis.
I don't think Richardson's there at that point.
And then I don't believe that
Yeah,
the Falcons go. Well, shit. Falcons could go Richardson and go back to that rushing offense that Arthur Smith's been running for years.
yeah. I mean, why not?
Yeah, that's. I
It
mean,
would be,
that seems like what he's used to.
yeah, it would be absolutely exciting to see Anthony Richardson end up in Atlanta, throwing deep balls to Drake London and seam passes to Pitts. That would be pretty legit. I kind of like that
Yeah,
landing spot.
yeah. That
I don't know if they'll do that though.
working through that. That's much more
Yeah,
intriguing.
yeah. Should they? I think they should. Yeah, and
Yeah,
there you go.
absolutely.
You got your quarterbacks, and it's not like they invested that much in Ritter, but and we're
No, he's
talking,
a
you know,
third.
yeah, and we're talking in hyperbole right now, but I still would have rather seen Ritter, and so them signing Heineke kind of sucked. At
Yeah.
least that's what I thought.
So what
Okay,
also kind of made us feel that way was Hayden Hurst going to the Panthers.
meh,
It. uh,
yeah,
okay.
great. Who the fuck's
Yay.
throwing you the ball?
Yeah. I mean, he's a solid tight end, but he's nothing great. I mean, every team that we've had him go to, we're like, oh, okay, so this is a good fit for him.
Yeah, he
And
did.
then he gets supplanted by somebody younger.
He did really well in his first year in Atlanta. Like he did. He was a top
Yeah.
10 tight end or something like that. He was a very productive tight end his first year. And then it was Pitts,
Yeah.
right? And then off he goes. And now he's playing with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase and Joe Burrow and still doesn't like flash.
Nope.
So maybe he's just not that good of a football player because he's definitely an athlete. He's got elite speed.
Yeah. Very
He's got
athletic.
good size. Yeah. But maybe he's just not a good tight end. Maybe he's just not a good football player. I don't know. But this, I don't give a shit about
Yeah, I
this,
think that's
honestly.
something I might have to explore into and kind of look into, like his splits, see where he's like lining up. If they're just using him more as a lineman, because that offense you had Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, Tyler Boyd, Joe Mixon, like you have weapons everywhere. So you didn't need Hurst.
Could have been just a lack of volume, but I mean,
Yeah.
still, like you should
Yeah.
have had a couple
I
of
think
games
that'll
where
be
you just
something I
like
look into.
shown out.
That's interesting.
But that does take us into another tight end involved in
This one I put on here because I was curious of what you thought.
of what I thought.
Yeah, I was really curious about this.
Well, I'll start from the very beginning of this. One, Jalen Ramsey for a third, I believe, and Hunter Long is fucking criminal.
Yeah.
And
There's some drastic moves out there.
yeah, and I'm kind of a Hunter Long believer. You kind of
And that's
look at
what I
these tight
thought,
ends.
but
Yeah, a lot of the savvier dynasty guys, and I'm sure the 5 people that watch us, they all
hi
will agree
guys.
that, yeah, hey, they'll all agree that like a tight end that has a little bit of hype in him, you wait 2 years, right? And because he's probably not going to pop in 2 years, and if he does, you weren't going to pay the price any fucking way because you didn't in the beginning. So you just wait for the next guy, but wait a couple years. And Hunter Long's kind of a candidate like that. Now we don't know what the fuck is going to happen in LA over the next couple years as
Yeah.
they've aged out and maybe on the verge of a rebuild. Higbee could easily be out. You've got that
Yeah.
noted here. Sorry, I just
Yep.
ganked that from you.
No, that's cool.
And then you don't know, does Matthew Stafford come back? Is Cooper Kupp gone? Where is that team?
Yeah,
And
is it just gonna just completely crumble and then they're stuck with like, hey, you got Hunter Long and Van Jefferson.
yeah, and whoever you picked up with that 3rd round pick.
Oh,
for
don't forget
Jalen
your
fucking
Tutu
Ramsey.
Atwell.
Yeah, that kid. Fuck. Anyway, so yeah, if he's in dynasty leagues, you probably aren't gonna have to pay much for him if the owner is willing to let go of him, right? That his
Yeah.
potential upside is probably outweighs anything you're gonna want to pay for him. But if he's on the free agent market, go get him. And if you can add him into a little trade,
I,
little
I
adder pieces
wonder
of
if you can
trades,
get
do
him
it.
for like a 4th round rookie pick.
I still wouldn't want to, because he's gonna like rot on my bench if I'm, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want to waste a pick. I would rather go take that dart throw on a pick because I know what that is, and there's a lot of questions around it. But if he's a free agent or something like that, I'd probably add him if I had a spot. If you're, so what was he? Is this the 2nd year or was this his 1st year?
I think this is his 3rd year.
So this would be a 3rd year. Yeah. See, so I mean, it's kind of primed to have a little bit of a breakout.
Yeah.
I don't suspect it to happen, and even if it does, all it's going to do is jack up the price, and I'm going to probably trade him anyway because I have no idea what the fuck's going to happen there in 2024.
Yeah,
No
trade
clue.
that unknown.
Yeah. I'm going to talk about this cat.
Yes, go for it.
Well, this wasn't a free agent thing. We're just, of course, we're just doing off-season acquisitions and everything like that also. So big one. Everybody loved this. I'm a Pollard owner in a few places.
Mm-hmm.
So I loved seeing the Zeke news today. Zeke out. Boom, right on. That was my initial reaction. Then I kind of slowed down, thought about it a little bit, and realized they're not going to give that fucking backfield to Tony Pollard.
No.
They wouldn't do it. They wouldn't do it in the past, and they're not going to do it in the future. So
well, even when they brought Zeke in, they still had what, DeMarco Murray there?
Yeah. I see Pollard. He's going to get some kind of competition. Where that's going to come from, I don't know. Is he going to be a rookie? Is he going to be a vet? I have no clue. All I know is he's going to be cheaper than whatever the fuck they were trying to pay Zeke.
Yeah.
So beware. Don't go blowing your wad to get Tony Pollard on your team, because wait it out a little bit. It's just like Javonte last year. If you would have tried to go get Javonte from somebody who was like, oh shit, they got Melvin Gordon back, I'm screwed, you could have got him for a way lesser price than what you would have had to have paid prior to Melvin Gordon signing there. Yep. So just take it easy. Like, wait this out, because if you are a Pollard believer, which I am, and I'm going to show my hand here, which fucking sucks, but I'm going to wait for this, because the second that Pollard gets a little bit of competition in that backfield, that's when I'm going to go ask and start trying to get Pollard for just this year, though. Just be prepared, because Pollard might be on his ass after this year.
Well, he's on the
franchise tag.
Yeah. Words.
Yeah, he's tagged.
Good. So he's tagged. So he's not under contract. They could easily bring in a great running back. We were talking, what if they fucking brought in Bijan?
Yeah,
it would be unlike Jerry just to be like, go get him.
Yeah, I love Texas. Actually, he's an Oklahoma guy, I thought.
Anyway, I don't know but that wouldn't be surprising to try to keep the kid in the home state, have that more hometown type buy-in.
Yeah, split the workload with Pollard to start, right?
And then, although we liked Malik Davis, I don't think he's the one. So
yeah, definitely, I don't think that, because you had to tell me his name.
Yeah.
Where does Dallas even pick? 26? Ooh, that's prime Bijan spot right there, isn't it? That's probably why there's a lot of talk about it.
And they could trade up just a touch. Somebody wanted to get something more, like a first and a third, just to move down 5-6 spots.
What if the Chargers got him? Bijan to the Chargers? And then they move, of course, assuming they move Eckler.
Well, maybe they already told Eckler, hey, we're going for Bijan. You might want to.
Yeah. We give you permission.
Aside.
Yeah. We give you permission to kick rocks.
We'll take a can of tuna fish.
Hey, so our last guy, we're going to close this out. Our last guy here, Jacoby Brissett. This is a sneaky sign by the Washington Commanders.
I think Jacoby Brissett fantastic.
Looked really, really good last year, filling in for Deshaun Watson. Is he going to blow your socks off? No.
Nope.
Is he a guy I want on my dynasty team as like my fourth quarterback? Hell, my third quarterback if I have two badass quarterbacks in a super flex. Yeah, because you're only going to play him every once in a while. So Jacoby Brissett, sneaky ad here. Them getting rid of McKissick doesn't bother me at all. I think Antonio Gibson was a better player anyway. It just wasn't getting a lot of role. Brian Robinson there. We already talked about it earlier. Jahan Dotson, Curtis Samuel, and of course Terry McLaurin. They might add more around that. I think they actually are going to put a little more into that defense. It kind of digressed last year, so they might build a little more on that. So that might end up being just his core. But even then,
what I would do with Brissett this year is get through your bye weeks and then look to sell him.
Yeah, if you can, because the bye weeks go all the way to fucking week 14, and I only know a couple of commissions that are smart enough to leave that shit open that long.
But I really liked it. I think it's going to be, wheels up for Brissett. I don't know that Howell is going to make it. I think Brissett could overtake him.
Oh, I definitely think. I don't even think it's going to be a competition. I mean, they may call it a competition, but Sam Howell didn't look like an NFL quarterback last year when he played. So I don't think. Yeah, and he didn't look like a fucking NFL quarterback.
Like size-wise?
No, he just looked like dog shit out there. Like, go back to college.
Every time I see him, I think Baker Jr. Poor guy.
I hope he doesn't watch this, because I'd be pissed. Right now, that's all we got. Is there anything that kind of crept into your mind there you want to bring up real quick?
Not that I want to err.
Hey, you know what we did miss out on? No, we didn't. I think we brought it up. Allen Lazard signing in New York.
Yeah, we did put that. That was in with our Aaron Rodgers notes. We just didn't really care because we were talking about Aaron Rodgers.
Fucking Aaron Rodgers, man. Well, cool. That's pretty much all. That's all I thought.
Let's get out of here.
You keep freezing. You need to get your internet figured out. You fucking Montana hick.
I'll I'll go get my Polestar generator and get my Wi-Fi going.
Yeah, figure it out. All right, well, shit. Everybody, don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Subscribe. That way you get all of our shows we're putting out, everything we're doing. We're going to be hitting you with probably 3 shows a week
Yep.
starting this week and then continuing on. And we don't know when we're going to stop. We might even add more. So make sure you're subscribing. Make sure you guys are following us along. And be like water. Keep it real. Tony, got anything to add?
Deuces.